Together, a forum for veterans and the community to connect. Here are your hosts, veterans John Gallina and Brad Borders.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Well, I'm back from serving my probationary period. and tuning into this thing. We had a veteran in Winona, Mississippi, back in March lose a 90-year-old Korean War veteran, Mr. Pyron, lost his home to a big giant F5 tornado down there.
Completely flattened it.
Yep, and so we fashioned a tiny home for him, 320 square foot tiny home ready to move in, and that bad boy got on a trailer yesterday, and
Yes, sir.
and we got a whole crew of like filmmakers following it.
Oh,
with
yeah,
drones
yeah.
and
Yeah.
robots.
Follow
and-
them on Facebook. They're
And
they're
Durant's
updating it.
riding it in a lawn chair in the back.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Lamar, and then Rob, old Salty himself, is down there in Mississippi.
Scott Burns.
Yeah,
is that
Scott
who?
Burns, and
he's-
yeah, man,
he
it's
said
just
Rob.
it's a
Rob
Yeah,
Harvey.
Rob.
Oh, Heart Attack Rob. Yeah,
yeah, Heart Attack
That's
Rob.
right.
He's down there getting it ready, and so they're going to
Man.
set it. And Mr. Pyron's going to move into his new home tomorrow. So that's
sounds
pretty pretty fantastic and pretty exciting. So big time. So well, Darren he jumped back in, and then he had to leave. He's a
there.
busy
Hello,
man.
where
He's
are
a busy
you?
man. Hey, Darren, we're going to introduce you when you get a chance. So.
I just texted him.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Well, this is what happens in live radio sometimes. Sometimes things happen, and you have to be able to adjust fire. So,
Oh, yeah.
well, Devin, tell me, how have you been?
I've been wonderful.
Tell me what you've been working on. What did you do yesterday? You did something exciting yesterday.
We went out to a veteran's home right here in Statesville, Western Statesville, Bill McAllister. And for those of you who watch and listen to our radio show on a regular basis, you might remember Santa Claus that's come to visit.
That's true. Santa Claus did come to visit.
Yeah, and Santa Claus came and visited out there as well.
Oh, did he?
Oh.
He came yesterday?
He made a little appearance.
Awesome.
Mr. McAllister is a Cold War veteran. I believe he's in the Air Force, and he is just a guy full of life. But he can't really get out of his own house.
Yeah.
His deck and his was just falling apart on him, and so we had some volunteers from F3 come out there and rip the old one out. We started the framing yesterday. We're going to get a new ramp in there today.
That is awesome, yeah. And so those guys from F3, those were the dudes that rode as a team and take that hill and raise
believe so,
money.
yeah.
And we got a grant from the F3 Foundation to make that happen. And so they are making good on their promise. And so that's pretty awesome. So, well, it looks like Darren has returned to his desk. Darren Graves, everybody, welcome to Putting the Pieces Back Together. We're glad to have you here, sir.
Thank you. I enjoy being here.
Yeah, it is good to see you, brother. And we'll tell John that you had a proud 113th flag up on your wall, and that is the unit that John and Dale served in, and many of our other friends did. Darren, can you tell us a little bit about your military service and maybe the experiences that shaped your journey as a veteran?
Oh, I would love to. I tell the story to all my 22,856 clients.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I've been in this business 20 years now. I'm fortunate and blessed and honored to serve veterans because I'm one myself. I started off at North Carolina A&T, flunked out of college, and I said to myself, I'm not going back home because my daddy was charging me rent. This is true
Oh, that's
story.
great.
I said, I went to the recruiter office in Charlotte, North Carolina. I said, if you can sign me up today, if I go home, you'll never see me again. He said, game on. I took the IVAD, I took the test, the physical, and I was on a bus at 8 o'clock that night going to Fort Jackson,
Oh
South
my
Are you
Carolina.
kidding? Wow!
Didn't
One
know
day
what I
listening.
signed up for.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
Next thing I know, I signed up for airborne school, Pathfinder school, and but I had a good job in the service. I was a 96 Bravo intel analyst, and I went, the basic training and all this in Fort Benning, and it's kind of funny too because I graduated in '83 in airborne school. It was 1,500 people, 1,300 people in my jump class. I was 8'11". I made the final jump on Saturday. They put us on 14 buses going to Bragg on Sunday. Back in the 80s, we had a 700,000 people army then. We had 700,000 people in the army back then under Ronald Reagan. And I got to my unit on Tuesday, and that Thursday, I jumped in Grenada with a mustard stain.
Wow.
kidding.
No kidding.
I didn't know you went to Grenada. Yeah.
That was my 6th jump.
Oh.
Your sixth
Holy
jump was it? So
smokes.
for those that don't know, the mustard stain is a gold star that goes on your jump wings, and when you jump into a combat zone, you get a gold star on your jump wings, and they call it a mustard stain. Did you know that, Dad?
I did not.
Now
know.
you do.
And knowing is half the battle.
That's right. Thank you,
Oh
G.I.
man, I
Joe.
stole it from you. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, G.I. Joe. That is pretty cool, Darren. So how long were you in?
23 years. I turned in jump stats, went to Fort Hood, Texas, and
I'm
I got
sorry.
to go to Baylor University
Yeah.
for free.
Nice.
And
All right.
yeah, I had a good career. I got to go to Baylor, and I got out of the regular army and joined the first of the 113th Field Artillery. They put me in radar and Metro, and I went to Iraq at 40 years old with them.
I'll be darned.
Got injured real bad, and it ended my career after 23 years. And they put me out without compensation. But I had just started a job with the county, and they said, "We got the perfect job for you." And it was a veteran service officer. I didn't even know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I got to looking at my case, and I went back, and I was able to retire to the regular army. And, I became 100% disabled too. And I was able to be a deal changer for people in the Guard and Reserves.
Mm-hmm.
That's really my specialty, Guard and Reserve claims, because we are underserved. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And, and a lot of this is something, a good thing I need veterans to understand. National Guardmen and reservists are not veterans if they don't deploy. The VA do not consider them as veterans. Do you guys know that?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I did not know that.
Yep, you are not a veteran unless you was called up to active duty. Now, if you served on active duty at any time, you are considered a veteran. But Guard and Reserve, if you don't deploy, you're not considered a veteran.
Interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
A lot of people don't understand that.
That's
I didn't know that.
No,
Wow.
you're not eligible for VA
that's a
healthcare
perspective changer
unless
right there.
you get
Yeah.
service connect.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it was your own struggle with the VA that drove you to do. You just didn't want to see anybody go through what you went through.
Short change,
Yeah.
lack of knowledge.
Right.
I prove ignorant because we at Guardsmen Reserve and active military, what happens is we get out, we have lack of knowledge. Only knowledge we have is what our platoon sergeant tell us, our friends tell us.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know there was a county service officer in every majority of every county
Mm-hmm.
in the United States. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
And God happened to place me into a job.
Mm-hmm.
I just ran with it. I ran with it. And it was curious the things I found out and how people are underserved. And the very first client I ever had was a guy named Joe Housen. And I looked at his DD-14. And I said, "Sir, I'm not on. I can't do your claim." And he, I looked on that thing, POW, Bronze Star,
Oh
the
my
Battle of the
gosh.
Buds, Normandy, Utah Beach. And I said, "Joe, I can't do this claim. I'm new. You my first claim."
Oh.
That's awesome.
He said, "Sit down, son. I'm gonna tell you what to do. You're gonna listen to me."
Hey, Darren.
Yep.
Darren, we're coming up on.
I was so honored and so privileged to do his claim, and it just set a fire in me.
That's awesome. Hey, we're coming up on a break, and I want us to hold on to that thought. And when we come back, I want to talk about a little bit about some insights and what the responsibilities of a VSO are so people can understand that a little bit better. And we're going to take about 3 minutes, listen to our sponsors and make this thing happen, and we'll be back with Darren Graves, VSO in Mecklenburg County. Thank you so much.
5 years. WSIC.
Hey, well, welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes, and we're glad you are with us today. We are joined by our friend Darren Graves, U.S. Army veteran and airborne infantry type guy, and 13 Bravo or military intelligence, and holds a lot of degrees. But he's also a really important job he has as a veteran service officer in Mecklenburg County, and he helps veterans each and every day. We're really privileged to have him on the show, and he's been sharing kind of how he joined the military, ended up on a bus going to Fort Jackson the day he went to the recruiter's office, which is in the story.
One day sign up,
just like
man.
I'm going
That's
tonight, and it's 23 years all the way through serving time in combat in Iraq, and now as a veteran service officer for the last 20 years in Mecklenburg County. And so, Darren, it's a real honor to have you here today. Can you tell our listeners what is the primary responsibility of a veteran service officer?
To assist the veteran and to give them knowledge, because the one thing, and information is the main thing. I use the word all the time in my office is clarity. Most of the time, veterans don't have clarity. They have bits and pieces of what they believe you can get, do in the military, and your VA benefits and your retirement. But I try to give them clarity. Clarity is the biggest thing. As service officer, we just need to guide them through the process through the VA. It's hard to do a VA claim by yourself for yourself. It's truly hard, because sooner or later you can start a claim, you may get a percentage, but you're going to run into a standstill where you're not going to be able to go further with it. And that's our job as a county service officer. And then DAV, American Legion, we are there to assist veterans in obtaining their benefits and to give them clarity.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. So there are a lot of veterans that are unaware of the benefits that are available to them, right? And you talked about bringing clarity to them. Can you provide what is like an overview of the benefits and resources that veterans can access through getting in touch with you?
And just get in touch with me or any county service officer, especially in North Carolina. We are well supplied with county service officers. And just like every county have a service officer, and all you got to do is Google your local county service officer, and you'll come up with the local county service officer. In Mecklenburg County, it's 10 of us. We got a big office. We got a really big office. But Cabarrus County has one. At Rowan County, all counties have a service officer. And all you got to do is Google them. If you don't want to go to a county service office, you can go to the DMV or American Legion. Every post should have a service officer to assist you guys.
So, all right. So, when a veteran is like, okay, I think I need to go see the VSO, what does that first visit look like? Like, because I'm coming to see you, right? And so, what's going to happen when I come to your office, Darren? What do I need to bring with me? What does that first interaction look like?
The first thing I tell my clients is to bring me their DD-214, and anything you think I need to see, you bring it.
Yeah.
You think I need to see it, you bring it. And bring me as much information as you can. And I listen to the stories of what happened to you too. When I do it, then I form a plan of how we're going to attain the benefits. Now, I'm a little bit different than a lot of service officers. I'm extremely aggressive. My whole military career, I've been aggressive, getting in trouble, whatever.
Nah, not you.
Yeah, you have to rein me in. You have to rein me in. But that's just what I'm just real aggressive about it, and I just go get it. I don't care about. I just need to hear the story, and I'm going to get it. That's just me as a person, and as a service officer. I'm gonna give you the best service I possibly can, and make sure you attain your benefits. But the key with me, I won't let stuff go.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like that my whole life. And like when you come see me, I tell you, bring your DD-214, all your marital information, social security number, birth certificate, so I can add them onto the claim. And I'm going to put you on a plan of how we going to attain your benefits. So when you leave my office, you should have what I call clarity. And a plan of how we going to attain these benefits. And the key thing I try to tell people in my office, don't listen to your friends. Listen to me. Please listen. But every VA claim is different from your friend. Every situation is different. Everything I do is catered for you. Every claim is different. We have different experience, we have different disabilities, and there's different presumptions out here that pertain to us and maybe not you. You know, a Gulf War syndrome presumption do not pertain to a Vietnam Agent Orange presumption. See, every presumption is different. So you really do need to talk to a county service officer or a local VSO, Veteran Service Officer, with the DAV or American Legion, AMVETS. There's plenty of organizations that can assist you.
Gotcha. I know you shared before the break about a particular veteran that your very first veteran that you helped was a World War II veteran. Is there another veteran that you've helped that kind of sticks out in your mind that where you felt like, man, I really helped that individual get from a place of discouragement to a place of where they realize that apply the proper pressure as you talk about, that the system actually does work for people?
Yeah, I had a guy who broke his back in an airborne jump, and he was in med hold in the service. He was a National Guardsman, and the units, his active duty sent him back to his National Guard unit. Well, he's still in the active army, right? To recruit. He didn't go back home. He went to the woods of Central Avenue and started living in the woods.
Oh my gosh!
I went to his local restaurant and said, we got a guy, please help this guy. And I went there and I wound up helping him. Come to realize he started living in the woods on Central Avenue in Charlotte. And he didn't even know he was still in the military. But he tried to do some things. He got on Social Security, food stamps, but he was still in the active army.
Still in
but
that,
didn't even know it.
Wow,
he didn't even know it.
That's crazy.
You'd be surprised how many people retire from the military and don't know they retired. Don't know they get health care.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I wound up helping this guy. I called the general at Fort Bragg, and I said, sir, you got a veteran. Well, I think he's under your command, living in the woods on Social Security. And he kind of laughed at me. He said, ain't no way. I said, yes, he is, sir. And it took me a while, but he wound up retiring out of the regular army, and he got 100% housebound rate.
Well,
we were able to place him in housing and everything. He's living a very productive life now.
That's an amazing
that
story.
Is, and well, I tell you what, that reminds me of something. Karen is here with the project of the week, and this is directly related to that. And so I'm going to just shift gears for a second and let Karen share this. And this may resonate with you, Darren. It may resonate with our listening audience as well. And everybody welcome the Metal Queen herself, Karen, with the project of the week. And she's going to see Godsmack this weekend. I want to hear about it. So,
awesome.
Word.
Awesome. Thank you. The irony of this this morning is not lost on me. I did not know that, Darren, you were going to be our guest, but this is kind of giving me chills and a little emotional. But the veteran I'm talking about today is Mr. Isidro Diaz Rivera out of Harlem, Georgia. U.S. Army, Cold War, 88 years old. He has mobility issues. His son is now his caretaker. And his son did not know that his father was a veteran.
Oh, wow.
His son.
Wow.
And did not discover this until his mother died in 2021, and he was going through her documentation and found his dad's DD 214.
Wow.
No kidding.
So he had gone, Mr. Diaz Rivera had gone all these years not knowing that he had services available to him. So
that's crazy.
It is. So his son is on the warpath,
right?
And he is being aggressive, trying to make up for those years that he lost these services or did not know that he had these services. So mobility issues, he was struggling to get into the step-in tub, had several falls, been hospitalized multiple times. So I got in touch with an organization called Tub Doctor out of Augusta, Georgia, and let me just tell you about them. They were incredible. They knew exactly what we needed to do. They gave me an estimate, snap of a finger. They told me it was going to be 4 to 6 weeks before they could get the materials and in. I contracted with them on May 2nd. They said 4 to 6 weeks we'll be out there. They called me on May 12th and said, we're done.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow. That's
10
the
days.
opposite of what contractors do.
10 days.
Wow.
You found a unicorn there,
I
Karen.
did.
Yeah.
I did. And so my supervisor Matt was like, "What do you mean they're going to do it for this amount of money?" And I'm like, "I know. Let's do it now."
crazy.
So there's a couple of pictures if you want to put those up of this beautiful. Isn't that
man,
gorgeous?
That looks great.
Yeah,
For our radio listeners, it is a walk-in shower with a sliding glass door,
Some grab bars, and a seat.
Yeah,
Yep.
looks like a new vanity and a new.
Well, we didn't do that. That was already there. We just did the shower.
Just
so
the shower. Wow, it looks amazing.
Isn't that wonderful?
But for those of y'all that don't know, ADA bathrooms are very expensive.
They're
Very,
incredibly
yes.
expensive.
Yes.
And they're one of the biggest needs that veterans have as far as housing needs.
And it's also one of the things that is most dangerous.
Yes.
It is, absolutely.
As we age and we lose grip strength, and then having to
Balance.
navigate, especially in a tub, and
Yeah.
trying
You're
to
in there with
navigate.
that water and
So Tub Doctor
Absolutely.
really, this was not their first rodeo, obviously. They knew exactly what we needed and what we were doing. And our funding partner for this project was Home Depot.
That is
well,
fantastic.
thank you to Home Depot for
Yep.
making that happen.
Yeah.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you, Karen.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's an awesome story.
I know,
I'm
isn't
so
that
glad
right?
to hear that.
Yeah.
So
My pleasure.
Well, thanks, Karen. That's an awesome story. Each and every week, bring just great stories in here. Darren, have you encountered people in their 80s, veterans in their 80s that just didn't know? They were like, I had no idea.
I have encountered people in their 20s that don't know.
Yeah, right.
You'll be surprised, and that's just the out processing, a lack of information that goes out to these veterans about their benefits.
Mm-hmm.
A lack of information. And like I said earlier, I have people that did 20 years in the military that don't even know they retired.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is amazing. You wouldn't
Yeah.
think it, but it is. And a lot of times people don't even know that they can go to the VA for health care.
Yeah.
It's just amazing that at 88 years old, I see it every day in this office, a story every day that people just didn't know. But the thing I tell you that most of the time we see people when there's a need. I try to tell as many people, as soon as you get out, that is the time to register for VA benefits. And the key to obtaining VA benefits, like healthcare, anything from the VA, is standing in line.
Yeah.
Time is your enemy. Time is a weapon that works against you with the VA. A claim, when you submit a claim for anything with the VA, you have to keep it going and stay in line. You got to keep it going. That's the main. If I can leave y'all with anything about a claim, is you can't let a claim time out on you. What is
it? How long is it before the claim is initiated? Before it's timed out?
1 year. Once they give you a decision, you have 1 year to keep a claim going. And some cases you don't have a 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, but you got to read the letters. The VA will tell you what you are required to do. You must read those letters they send you. And you got to react in a timely manner.
So I'm assuming that for veterans that when they get these letters in the mail and maybe they don't understand the language, it's foreign to them. A lot of times it's bureaucratic language that comes from the VA. I'm assuming that you can assist in helping them interpret that, and that's kind of part of your role and responsibility as a VSO.
Back to the clarity issue.
Yeah.
Clarity. And a lot of times the veterans only care about the award, the win, but they don't read up what it takes to get to the win. The VA, it's not adversary that they do. You can't beat them getting mad calling a congressman or a senator. You got to beat them within their system.
Right.
Respond to give them what they asking for. That's the only way you can really, if you want to win and defeat them, if you want to look at it that way, I think it's a challenge. Every claim I do, it's a challenge. How are we going to challenge the VA? But you got to read the letters and respond in a timely manner.
So for those of us that have never done this, right? That would be me. I don't know what I'm doing. So when I come to see you, and what's the amount of time generally it takes to kind of get some resolution? We get all the paperwork we have. From time I come to see you, the claim is filed. How long does it take for resolution?
Here's a good example. The first thing I do when I see you, I'm going to do POA, power of attorney. Power of attorney means I'm representing you. I don't have power of attorney over your life, just in some of your VA fairs, I can sign documents for you. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. The second thing I'm gonna do an intent to file. So the date of the claim started the day you walked in my office, and I have 1 year to file the claim for you. Okay, I have 1 year to get my information, to get the claim together, to send to the VA. So then we're gonna discuss your claim. If you got everything together right there, just use you as an example. You just getting out of the military. I tell people to write down everything that you went to sick call for and everything that's wrong with you on a separate sheet of paper, so I can connect the dots. If you got all those act together, you got all your marriage certificate, birth certificate, social security number, I can submit the claim that day. Or I need most stuff from you. I got this intent to file in there, so I'm saving the data claim. In actuality, once I get POA, and most time the veteran don't have what they need, I have them come see me the next following week. So I can submit a claim the next following week. And what we're doing is a fully developed claim. We're giving the VA all the information they need. Now, here's where a new claim can take like 90 days. Sometimes it takes 6 months if your act ain't together and they ain't got everything they need.
I got you.
I know a guy that's taking that
When I
amount of
first
time.
started,
So, hey, Darren,
first
we're coming up on the break. We got to have the news and sports coming up. We're going to do a quick break, but man, I want us to hold on to that thought because this is valuable information for the veterans and their families that are listening. And we're really grateful you're here. And everybody, you're listening to Darren Graves. He's the VSO in Mecklenburg County. We have a VSO in Iredell County. It's Tim Moore. You can go see him as well. And we're really excited to have him on the show. And we've been talking about how veterans can navigate the VA system to seek out help for maybe injuries or illnesses that they've had since they've gotten out of the military. We'll be back here in just a few minutes, coming up with sports and news with the crew from WSIC.
Oh, that sounds fun.
All right. Hey, welcome back to the final segment of Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes. I can't talk this morning. I've got a speech impediment today. So, anyhow, I'm just so nervous to be around you, to be back with you, Devin.
I know.
I'm all for Klimt. My heart's a flutter. So,
I missed you too, Brad.
All right. So, anyhow, hey, we are joined by Darren Graves, who's the Veteran Service Officer in Mecklenburg County. Been doing that for 20 years. He's a 23-year Army veteran and combat veteran, and he has been filling our heads full of knowledge today.
Oh, yeah,
which is
man.
not hard to do when you're dealing with empty brains. So
That's true. There's a lot to.
There's a lot. Devin, you had a question for Darren.
I did. So Darren, I know a lot of veterans deal with PTSD, and we were just wondering, what's your definition of PTSD?
You know, I ain't seen so many diagnoses of different medical conditions, but just doing all these claims all the years, here's my definition of PTSD. And I hope this will give people clarity about it. You know, when you start training to go to war, and then you go through all the procedures and classes, if this happened to you, you can be killed. If this happened to you, do this. Put your head on the swivel. Look for this. Look for that. Be on alert. See now, and you go through all the stages of getting there, preparing yourself for this engagement or your tour, wherever you may be, your head's on a swivel. You're at a heightened alert. And when you get to Iraq or any combat situation, you are on a heightened alert. You have not came down from this alert. Every little book drop, pen drop, you're scanning your sector, you're checking your surroundings, your head is on a swivel 24/7. You even, man, I have learned to sleep with my eyes open. It's really the tenseness of it, you just heighten. The least little thing will wake you out of your sleep and everything. But here's the situation. You don't have to be in combat or ever engage the enemy to have a mental condition. Stay with me here for a second. So when you come back home to your surrounding, to your house, to your environment, your civilian job or whatever, you're still on heightened alert. You are still checking your perimeter. You are still engaging in every little thing, watching before you go on the restaurant, where to sit. When you go in the movie theater, where is the escape option? You are still on that heightened alert. And, my definition of PTSD is a little different from what these doctors may call it or may see it. I still say when veterans get home, they're still on a heightened alert, and they cannot let that go or turn that switch off.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of things happen. You get a lot of diagnosis. Adjustment disorder is a big one. Everybody claims everything is PTSD because that's the common, name everybody. I get more claims from adjustment disorder. You cannot adjust to life as from your military deployment or your military time in service. And just because you don't have to engage the enemy to have PTSD, just the fear factor from being over there and getting home, that is a simulation of adjustment disorder that leads to PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
that's my definition. And people who served in combat theater, they just can't separate. Yeah. They can't let it go. They're still on heightened alert.
That's absolutely true, and we deal with veterans like that every single day.
Yeah.
What would you say to veterans out there that are on the fence about whether or not they should file for a VA claim?
Yes.
So you're unsure.
Oh yeah. And, most of the time you need a diagnosis. You need three things to win a VA claim, people. You need an event. You need a nexus, and you need a link. And okay, you file a PTSD claim. The first thing they're going to ask you, do you have an event? What event gave you PTSD? Okay. The second thing is they're going to order a CMP examination to give you a diagnosis, and the CMP doctor is going to link the diagnosis to the event you have in service. A lot of time I see claims they don't have the event or the nexus or the link. Mm-hmm. And that's the job as a veteran service officer to put it together for you to help you with that thing.
Darren, can you speak to the PACT Act that was just passed last year and how presumptive conditions have become kind of the talk of the town for those of us that have served in places where there were environmental issues that are causing health issues later on in life?
Yes. Okay. The PACT Act and all these presumptions, Agent Orange and everything. If you served in Iraq, I use the burn pits as an example. Because, we was at Far Caldwell, and a lot of these farms, we burned the trash, and we was right beside it. The PACT Act do mainly breathing issues and everything, but it's a list of diagnoses or conditions here. If you have one of those conditions, go to your local service office, see can we link your condition to one of those presumption conditions. And it's easy to do, but you got to read and hope it put it together. Do my condition, my sinus condition, or my asthma condition, is that associated with a PACT Act condition, burn pit consumption? And that's when a service officer should be able to put it together for you. And the key thing is you must file the claim.
Yes.
You must file. Talking about it don't make it right.
Yeah, and so the PACT Act, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it creates an avenue to where you don't have to have. So I served in Iraq almost, it's like 14 years ago now, right? And I can't believe that. That's hard to believe. But we had burn pits and dust storms and all of that, and I'm personally dealing with some lung issues, right? But I don't have any medical documentation from the Army. I have medical documentation from a civilian doctor. Can you bring medical documentation from a civilian doctor in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And the key thing is we got the best. People are proud on the VA, but this is the best system going today, man, to help veterans. It is, but I say again, if you don't tell the VA about it, they don't know about it.
Yes.
And
Right.
all you need to do is file the claim. If you think you have something, you have the right to file a claim. And nobody should not deny you the right to file a claim. Please, veterans, file the claim for the condition and let the VA assist you in putting it together. Or your kind of service officer like Darren. Or Tim Moore up there where you guys at. He's a great service officer. I mean, very knowledgeable, very studious, and real aggressive. You got a great service officer in that county.
That is awesome.
We are here to assist you guys. Back to the word clarity again.
Yes, for sure. Hey, tell me about what role have you seen, like peer support, other veterans that in the veteran community, and how do you help facilitate veterans helping veterans?
The peer support and everything. I'm like a beacon or Tim Moore in your area. Everybody come to us in one way or the other way. Assist veterans in their transportation, peer support, VA, the medical doctor, everybody come through us, challenge through us, because we got a lot of resources to steer them in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And veterans, you got to get in this line and stay in this line. We got the resources, they are available. But you know what? It's back to knowledge. We don't know what direction to go in. And that's why your local county service office is a beacon, is a source. And to go to that person, find somebody knowledgeable who work for the VA that can assist you.
Yeah. Are there any specific initiatives that you've got going on in Mecklenburg County that you're particularly proud of?
You know what? I'm proud of not really turning down veterans. I'm proud of the amount of work and claims I do to assist veterans. And I work for a great staff. It's 10 people in this office, and I got a great director, and the county divide me the resources to help veterans out, to meet them where they are. If I need to go to their home, we can assist them going to their home. Or you know what? I'd love to come public speak.
Yes, I can't imagine.
I know, Darren. You seem
that
so
hard
shy.
to believe. Seems so shy and reserved. Hey, so let me get to a little lighter note. So one of your former teammates in the 113th said something about you stealing a battalion commander's vehicle or something sometime, and I'd love to know that story if you're willing to tell it.
No, I think he got it twisted. That Tim Mangum, y'all, man, that price. Anyway, it was Sonny Simpson. I did not steal his vehicle. I parked in his parking space. Yeah, I came down from a radar site in Iraq, crossed the Sunni Triangle to get there. I told Daniel Blasky said, Graves, that's Sonny Simpson. Hey, he gonna get us. He ain't gonna get. We ain't gonna be here for 10 minutes. God no, he wasn't in that parking space, and Blasky warned me not to park in that parking space. I did it anyway. And what did we know? Here comes Sonny Simpson. He chewed me out in front of, he got me. He finally got a hold to me. He got me. But you know, the contrary, we had so much love and respect for each other. The next day, we didn't even realize it was a big issue.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's awesome.
You know, it wasn't, because I took it as I shouldn't have parked in a man's parking space. But the key thing is, that wasn't the worst thing I did. The worst thing I did, I got that helicopter that belonged to the general.
Oh.
Wait,
what?
let's go back to the helicopter thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I went on leave and I came back home and they didn't leave on the radar site, right? And so I said, I got to get there. And so, well, I looked at the helicopter and I said, I'm a VIP. They need me on this radar site. And that guy said, come on. I got on the general helicopter. Who's on that helicopter? Echo 6 Golf.
Oh, gosh.
That's the general helicopter.
Oh, my Lord.
I think Kenny and Tim forgot that story.
He was probably, General's probably over there eating at the chow hall, just enjoying it. And he's like, where's my helicopter at? Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I got my, they're going to get you, Grace. I ain't worried about them coming across the Sunni Triangle to get me.
Oh, gosh.
Then he got me right.
Yeah, how's he going to get you? You done took his helicopter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Can't catch me now. Yeah.
I laugh on these stories, how they're great memories and pondering of it. And, and everybody knows me, and they gave me an avenue to assist all people I served in the military. And you guys, I still laugh at these stories today. Everywhere I go, but lately, Tim Mangum got my itinerary. He been heading people off. Everywhere I go, I had to tell that story.
That's the way it happens. You become infamous there, Darren. So that's awesome. Well, you're listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together, and our guest today for the whole show today has been Darren Graves, who's a veteran service officer in Mecklenburg County, and he has been giving us some incredible information for veterans and their families about the benefits that are available to them through the VA. And I know sometimes it seems like it's a giant bureaucracy and it looks very daunting. And I know in the Army sometimes you're trying to make a call and trying to get in touch with somebody that can help you, and you get nothing. You get no answer on the other end, and it can be very frustrating. And sometimes people just give up. And what I've been hearing from Darren is don't give up. Find someone like Darren, a veteran service officer in your county, who knows the system, who knows the paths, if you will, a pathfinder, if you will, that can guide you to the place where you can get the help. And I think so many veterans that have encountered this system and have struggled with it has increased their anxiety many times. We've gotten more and more reports about veterans pulling into the parking lot of a VA hospital and taking their own lives in the car because they've been so frustrated, and they just wanted to send that message to the VA. And it's just, that does not have to happen because we have these resources in place. You just got to find somebody like Darren.
You don't have to navigate it alone. That's
you absolutely
what
don't.
People like Darren are there for.
Yeah, you absolutely don't. And so, Darren, we're really grateful to have you on the show today. I'll give you one final word. Anything that you'd want to tell a veteran right now that may be listening?
Yes, seek out your local county service officer guide. Every county should have a county service officer or somebody from the state to assist you. Please Google local county veteran service officer in your area, and it'll come up. And let these guys assist you. In Mecklenburg County, we assist everybody. We don't turn down veterans. We try to assist. And it's still, I say this to you, it's one team, one fight. With DAV, American Legion, we are one team, one fight. And we're here to help each other. So do your due diligence and find your local county service officer.
Thank you, Darren. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
talking to
thank you
today.
for being here, and I'll be calling you later today.
Tammy is going to make sure of that.
Tammy is eyeballing me
We've been-
right now.
Yeah, we've been giving eyeballs to each other
Hey,
today.
so yeah,
Maybe we could. We'll just carpool down.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Get a bus.
Yeah. Well, we hope you'll come back next week. We're going to have a great show next. We're going to have Chief of Police here in Statesville, Chief David Only, who's also a veteran. And the police department here in Statesville has hired a bunch of veterans that work on their staff and on their team. They're amazing police officers. They were amazing service members, and they're paying that forward by keeping our community safe. And we're going to hear more from Chief Only about that. We've got be looking on social media about what's going on with our tiny house in down in Mississippi. A big celebration coming up, and so for those that have supported Purple Heart Homes, have been generous with their gifts to us, thank you for enabling us to help a veteran that quickly in the midst of a tornado and put him in a new house, and that is a fantastic thing. And so,
and continue to watch that journey on our Facebook and all of our social media.
all the Twitters and Instagrams and tickety talk talks.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
All of that.
Yeah.
So
and follow Chap on TikTok there.
that's right. Give me some more views out there. So, hey, thanks for being here. You've been listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes. We will see you next week.
You've been listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders. Join us again next Tuesday at 8 a.m. and Saturday at 5 p.m. for Putting the Pieces Back Together on News Talk WSIC.